Shauna here. So you might remember a few months ago I did a video called 5 TV shows that I'm watching right now, or something like that. I don't remember what it was called. I'll link it down there though. Anyway, and it was just, I talked about 5 TV shows that I was currently watching that I was loving. So I'm here today to do 5 TV shows that I wish they would bring back. I went through old shows that I used to watch that have ended, been canceled, that they don't make new episodes for anymore, and I picked 5 that I would just love if they would make more episodes because I loved them, watching them when they were on, and I would just love seeing more. And all 5 of these either ended on a really high note, so it's like, well, no more, or they got so bad that they were canceled, and it was like, no more. But just pretend that if they made new episodes, they would be good and wouldn't ruin how it ended, or wouldn't be as bad as how it ended. You'll see. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first one should come as no surprise to anyone who knows me. Friends. I own all 10 seasons. They're up there. I don't know if you can see them, but they're up there on the top shelf of my new bookcase. And I love the show Friends. It's really funny because when it started airing, it was in 1994, and I was only 4 years old, so obviously I wasn't watching it then. And like, as I got older, I wasn't allowed to watch it, which makes sense because the last season aired when I was 14, and like, a lot of the jokes they make, like, well, I didn't get them for the most part, but even the ones I did were like kind of inappropriate for someone that young, if you know what I mean. So I was never really like allowed to watch it, but I do remember, I don't know if my mom let me watch the series finale or if I was just like, I'm watching it. But I remember watching the series finale on TV. I was in grade 8 when it aired, and like, I had seen so few episodes in the rest of the series that none of it made sense to me. I was like, why is Ross going to the airport? Why is Rachel leaving? Why do Monica and Chandler have twins? Like, I didn't understand anything. I never watched most of the episodes because I wasn't allowed because I was too young. Anyway, I remember watching the series finale, and then I've since gone back. Obviously, I own all 10 seasons, so I've gone back and rewatched every episode multiple times, and now the show makes sense to me, and I quote it so often. And the second show is The OC, and I have another funny story about this one. So it started airing when I was in grade 7, I think, and I had these 2 friends who were like, they were more like, they just kind of hung out with the same group of people that I hung out with, but I wasn't like super good friends with them. Anyway, they were obsessed with The OC, and like, I don't know what night it aired, like say Thursday. Say it aired Thursday night. Friday morning, like, or like all day Friday, that's all they would talk about. They would just like dissect every second of the episode, and I was just like, this is so annoying. And I was just like, on principle, I was like, I hate The OC, and I'd never even seen an episode. I had no idea what it was about. It was just because these 2 girls talked about it so much, I was like, this show is dumb. So I never watched it. And then the last season aired when I was in grade 11, and then the next year when I was in grade 12, Much Music, which is like the Canadian version of MTV or whatever, you guys know Much Music, they started airing like every weekday at like, I don't know, like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I don't know what time. They would air reruns of The OC, and they started like season 1, episode 1, and went all the way through. And I started watching them because it was like it must have been at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, like right after I got home from school. Anyway, and I would watch them, and I was like, this show is the best show ever. So then like I missed a few episodes, like I didn't watch everyone, but I pretty much watched the whole series like fall of grade 12, like on and off. And I was like, this show is so good. And like, I cried when Ryan left, and then when Kirsten's dad died, and there was tears, and then Seth and Summer, and oh my god, such a good show. Anyway, and then I've since gone back and like watched, I think in the fall I rewatched every episode, like online, or like I have friends who own the DVDs. I'd love to actually buy. That's probably like the next show that I'm gonna buy all the seasons on DVD. Probably The OC, because it's just such a good show. And like, when it ended, like season 4 was not very good. I was not a big fan of season 4, but like up till then they were doing pretty good. Marissa dying, I think that was like the only sad thing that I didn't cry about. I really didn't like Marissa when she died. I was like, shit happens, whatever, move on. Yeah, I would love if they made more episodes of The OC, because like, Seth is my spirit animal. The next show just ended about a year ago, and it is Desperate Housewives. And how old was I when that show started airing? Like junior high, maybe? Maybe I was in high school. Maybe I was in like grade 9 when it started airing. But like, I kind of watched it on and off, not really. Because again, I was like a little bit too young. And there was a lot of like adult themes that happened in that show, which like, now I'm 23, like no big deal. But I watched it kind of on and off. And then I think in once I got into university, the first year or second year, I started watching it like every week, like new episodes every week. And like last year, I was really into it. Like I never missed an episode. And towards the end, about a year ago, because I knew the finale was coming, I went back and watched at least the first 4 seasons, like every episode on DVD. And then I think I tried to get 5, 6, 7, 8, but I had seen those when they had aired. Anyway, and I watched the finale when it aired on TV last year. And sidebar, the only TV shows other than reality TV, the only like scripted TV shows, well, okay, you know what I mean, that I've actually watched the finale on the day that it is aired is Friends and Desperate Housewives, other than reality shows. Every other like sitcom, drama, whatever, that I love, I've seen the finale, but I watched it way after it aired. Friends and Desperate Housewives, as far as I know, are the only 2 non-reality shows where I've actually watched the finale on the day that it aired. Anyway, and I watched the finale last year, and like 2-hour finale, bawled my eyes out. Oh my goodness, I can't even. I love Desperate Housewives. And that was a show that ended on like a really high note. Like they knew that it was ending then, and it wasn't like, it was a good place to end it, and like, I'm happy with how they ended it. The next show is a pretty old show, and I used to watch it as a kid. It is Home Improvement. I remember, I have these memories of being like, well, less than 12, because I remember watching it with my dad. And my parents split up when I was 11. Watching it with my dad, and I don't know, honestly, I don't know if it was reruns or if it was like new episodes. I don't remember. But I remember watching it with my dad, and we would both laugh so hard. I used to love Home Improvement. That's one show where I would love to go back and actually like watch every episode, because that's just what I do. If you haven't noticed, I love rewatching episodes of old TV shows. But that's definitely a show where I'd love to go back and actually watch like every episode, to like fully get the storylines and like everything that actually happens. But I used to laugh so hard. That was a good show. I would love if they made more episodes. And Jonathan Taylor Thomas is very good looking if you're watching this. Hey, the last show is also one that I watched when I was a child, and it is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I used to watch that show. I mean, that was probably like the only age appropriate one where I actually like should have been watching it when I was a child. Although there was still some, going back and watching it, there's definitely some jokes where I'm like, 7-year-old Shauna didn't get that. 20-year-old Shauna gets it. I see what's happening. I used to watch that show like all the time. And then they had books, and I read the books. And when I get obsessed with something, I get really obsessed. So I would love, like, I need to go back and rewatch Sabrina the Teenage Witch as well. See, this is what I do. I just rewatch every episode of a whole series of TV shows. This is my thing. So yeah, I'd say Sabrina the Teenage Witch is definitely one that I would love for them to make more episodes. So this has been the 5 TV shows I wish they would bring back. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with any of the shows that I said, or any TV shows that you used to love, that you wish they would bring back to TV. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!